With that, I would like to welcome Joe, our MC for the first half of our event.
Welcome. Gresham Toastmasters, our club that I belong to, is hosting the event.
Yay!
And we were founded in 1951, 67 years ago. And there's a long legacy of Toastmasters in Oregon, and it's nice to see everybody here this morning. We've got a great lineup of speakers. We've got 12 total. Sally is going to provide some timing over here just so that you know what, for the speakers, that they know how much time that they have, so we can kind of stay moving.
Yeah. 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7 minutes, unless you've given a special time to Sally that's slightly different. I know a few of the speeches are planned to go just slightly longer. Before we introduce our first speaker, I just kind of want to warm us up. So, as the MC, I'm not quite David Letterman. But I've been practicing my dad jokes. So we'll start with a few from the kind of Halloween era, just to kind of get us going. So what do you call, or what do you use to mint a jack-o'-lantern? A pumpkin patch. Okay. Stay with me here. We got to get warmed up. You got to be listening. What do you get when you drop a pumpkin? A squash. It only gets better from here. I'm going to be here all morning. Don't worry. Why are skeletons so calm?
They have no nervous system.
Because nothing gets under their skin. Why don't skeletons ever go trick-or-treating? Because they have no body to go with. I have the honor of introducing... let's leave it there for now. I have the honor of introducing Terri Brewer. She's from Gresham Toastmasters. Her speech title is Just Start. She's been a Toastmaster for 3 years. She's self-employed, and her focus is back to origin water. Terri.
I never knew Joe was such a comedian. Start from wherever you are with whatever you got. That's a quote from Jim Rohn. And that kind of sums up my Toastmasters beginning. So when I started Toastmasters, it was at a very tumultuous time in my life. I was just recently widowed after being married for 32 years. And at that time, everything was uncomfortable. In fact, everything was downright scary. The reason why I joined was because I inherited my husband's business, and it was my son Robert that encouraged me, Mom, why don't you just go to Toastmasters? So I did. So I show up at my first meeting, and of course everybody is nice and warm and friendly. And we're starting the meeting, and they explained to me about table topics, which is a 45-second impromptu speech. And my logical brain says, 45 seconds? Sure, of course I can do that, no problem. But then I stood up. I can't even remember what my topic was. And that logical brain froze. In fact, my whole body froze. And the only thing that could come out of my mouth was, this is harder than I thought. And I sat back down. That was my introduction to Toastmasters. So I officially joined in June of 2015. And most people I've watched in the club, they just take off running. Well, for me, I kind of started at a snail's pace. It took me 3 months just to do my icebreaker. But what kept me going was all the encouragement of the people and the members in the group. I remember specifically Rudy came up to me after a meeting and talked about how he was so nervous when he first started, and his insides were shaking, and his hands were shaking, and I couldn't believe it, because Rudy was such an accomplished speaker even back then. But anyways, it was the encouragement that kept me going. And I remember my first mentor, who was Twee, she basically told me, treat this like it was a college course, and show up every week. And that became my motto, just show up. And if anything, if I can attribute this process to anything, it was just showing up in spite of the fear. And what took me to a whole nother level of exposure to Toastmasters was when my son Robert entered a speech competition. And so he won at our club level, which is great. And me, being the supportive mom, of course, I'm going to go to the competitions. So I went to the competition, and lo and behold, there were other people from our club that came to support him on their weekend, on their free time. And it just became something fun for me to do. And then he kept moving on and moving on. And we kind of all moved on with him until we ended up in Eugene that year, and it was there that he won the Oregon title, and then went on to Washington, D.C. And this group of people really, really supported this young 20-something-year-old kid that was just getting started. And they got together, they rallied, they did this big silent auction, they had a whole event, and they helped raise money to send my son to Washington, D.C. And it was there that I realized Toastmasters is this huge international event. It is big. And you can take this little start, and you can go all the way into the whole professional speaking circuit if you choose. So there's options for everybody. And then my next step in the journey was when, I think it was the following year, I became the cool mom. I entered the humorous speech contest. And thanks to the design ideas of Deb Hart, I wore these big earrings. Sally did big tattoos on my arms. And I was the cool mom. I couldn't believe it. But the most exciting part for me was I actually stood on stage and people laughed at my jokes. Now that was a first. So where am I at now? I actually I'm starting business. I every week go to Vancouver and I'm presenting to a group of about 30 plus business entrepreneurs. Would I be able to do it without Toastmasters? Absolutely not. Start from wherever you are with whatever you've got. Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. And that's a quote